Hey, it's Tim Reha here, back in studio at the Digital Health Live CES 2014, sponsored by Ideal Life. We got a good friend, Sai, at San Diego for the Summer Summit. We got Wayne Fishburn from Cooley, a partner of Cooley LLP. How are you doing?
Terrific. What a great day. How are you doing?
Oh, awesome day. We had a great time at the Summer Summit. It was beautiful. I saw you at the pool party.
That was a good party. Yes, Jill knows how to do it right.
And everybody was there, it seemed like.
No question. I love the WellDoc presentation that talked about the first digital health application that had been really a prescribable application approved by the FDA. That was a big event. You guys did a nice job.
That was big news. So you were the keynote today, breakthroughs in business models in digital health. So there's a lot of entrepreneurs who watch the show, and a lot of investors and a lot of big companies are looking to acquire the next business models in digital health. So what were some of the highlights and who was on the panel?
So I was a sole keynote, and a little bit about my background. So I was one of the founding partners of the Cooley office in San Diego about 20 years ago. We talked about opening that office with the IPO of Qualcomm, using Qualcomm as a reference point of what you can do in 20 years. They obviously have opened up the ecosystem in digital health, but as a $100 billion company, the venture community is looking to say, where will the next billion-dollar breakthroughs come through?
Yeah, this is like finding the next Facebook bucket in digital health, and we're looking for like what is going to be the big breakthrough company and business model for that. So what else were you speaking about?
Yeah, so first we talked a little bit about what's happened in the investment sector. The velocity of dollars that have come into the sector has increased dramatically to about $2 billion in 2013, up by about 60% from the year before. What we were seeing is a number of Series A companies that were getting anywhere from $2 to $3 to $5 million. But the other thing that was interesting is some of the Series A companies from 2012 were getting refunded in 2013. So there's clearly momentum. So
they weren't getting hit by the funding gap. And how's the angel activity?
I'm finding in this sector in particular, they're finding greater access to the traditional investment, venture investment, but super angels I think have changed the face of investing forever. And keep your eyes out for crowdsourcing, because that's going to be in crowdfunding. That's going to be
it's interesting. A lot of these companies, like I know Sunny Vu from Misfit Wearables last year raised over 700 grand, and they didn't even need the money, but they're using crowdfunding to get a diverse feedback from all these kinds of different folks from around the world who are buying the product.
Yeah, no, I work with Sunny. He and I had the privilege of spending a week last year with John Scully in Vietnam, visiting all of their visiting all of their developers and what have you. And Sunny, as we all know, is a serial entrepreneur. Clearly has done it before, and from my vantage point, did just the right thing. He had a great concept on how to approach the wearables market, and this is the first of many great things we can expect from Sunny.
And I picked one up, so this is the new Shine, and it's very nice, and people are like, "What is it?"
It's good.
So yeah, it's very solid and nice finish. So business models, there's data, there's devices, sensors. Give us a kind of a synopsis of what's happening across the sector.
Sure. So I think you look at first, here we are at Consumer CES, and it's about digital health. So 2 years ago, when Life Technologies came directly from JP Morgan and did their keynote here and the introduction of their Proton product, it was a great example of the crossroads between sort of traditional life science and the electronics industry. Today, nearly 10% of the exhibitors are in some aspect of healthcare, and so that was unheard of years ago. So it really is a signal of consumerism as it's hitting the digital health market. Where I think that ties in is some of the first devices, and really significant companies, are the wearables. When I think about the wearables, they have a couple, your Fitbit Shine, your Misfit wearables Shine. You got the Fitbit. Fitbit's also significant because they're selling in more than 20,000 stores nationwide. And what I like to say about the wearables is at this juncture, what you're seeing is they're, I believe, indoctrinating and allowing the consumer to begin a consumer experience with a biometric device. And even though right now it's only for health and wellness, two things are happening. One, it's being driven deeply into the consumer community, dominantly as for its own attractive features, and so that in and of itself is creating an industry that is highly investable. But more importantly, as we begin to move down the continuum toward more actionable healthcare data, you have a consumer that's used to wearing this. So all of a sudden we can upgrade this and it becomes a tool with your doctor. that's good stuff.
So I was meeting a ton of interesting companies. Suk Jawanda from the Bluetooth SIG invited me out to their party last night. So now we can move the data. What's going on with data and analytics and predictive analytics that you're seeing?
So I think that's really, if I think the very first stage in the investment profile had to do with the devices, the sensors, the wearables. The next was the beginning of the analytics, and now what we're seeing is we're being able to make those analytics useful and user accessible. So things like more sophisticated dashboards, easier interface with the device and the various constituents around the device wearer, whether it be the doctor, the mother, the other people in the caregiver community. So that is where it's moving, and then from there it's the data aggregation. And I think what we're talking about in that arena is becoming much more sophisticated so that the results can draw on a broad group of sort of people using the devices and then create actionable results. Yeah,
and it seems like it goes to scale too, so we need to solve the problem of lack of doctors and things going on, so there's some interesting tools for doing new things.
Yeah, so that was one of the predictions in my keynote. I believe that a lot of digital health should be about elevating the importance of the doctor in our culture. I think there's been a lot of conversation about the excessive cost in the healthcare system, how do we squeeze the cost out? All of that is fundamentally important, but my belief is that with the increasing doctor shortage, we have got to continue to attract the best and the brightest to the medical profession. My statement is that we have to make the doctor much more empowered and able to use these tools so that he or she has a higher order use of their time and they become a more valuable resource in the whole community.
Yeah, instead of more time and it takes time for them to learn too, right? It's a fast-moving market. So what's up next for you?
Well, so let's see. So I'm on the board of WLSA, and so we have our May conference, which has been terrific over the last many years. That will be in San Diego, and then they have both the commercial event, which is in May, but more importantly, they are now doing their academic wireless program, and that is on the campus of NIH in October. So that'll be a big event, and is really the single organization and focal point for the academic folks that are moving to the forefront of digital health.
So Wayne, I noticed outside a lot of people are really excited to connect up with you in person. If people out there who couldn't be here, how can they connect up with you in Cooley?
Great. So I'm pretty easy to find. I'm at Cooley.com, and I'm the chairman of our digital health program, a huge supporter of the ecosystem, and thank you for everything you're doing. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, good to see you again, and thanks for being part of the team this year.
Great. Thanks a lot, Tim. Take care.